Hey guys, and welcome to this free training. Alex Fleck here, founder and creator of Total Online Blueprint. In this quick series of training videos, what I want to do is just give you the best grounding possible for your online marketing learning experience. There's a concept that I created in this industry. It's called the 5 pillars of online marketing. So what I want to do today is basically outline the pillars, talk a little bit about each of them, and show you how each of them interrelate and complement one another, and how as an online marketer, you can create strategies in each of these individual areas with which to create a more efficient, effective, full-scale marketing strategy online. So first of all, what I want to talk about are 2 words that everything in online marketing relates to. Now, you'll have heard these words, no doubt. If you've done any online marketing training, you'll have heard the 2 words, but you may not be aware of how they interrelate and how everything in online marketing starts and finishes with one of these 2 words. Okay, so the first word is traffic. Traffic, the movement of visitors to and from your website and your individual mechanisms within your websites and online marketing platforms, whether that's social media, landing pages, sales pages, e-commerce websites. Could be any page within your online marketing strategy. But traffic is basically just visitors to your website, of course, so that's something we've got to be aware of. But every action that you partake in online marketing should be geared for generating traffic. It starts with a point from nothing. So the visitor has not yet been made aware of your website or the page that they're about to go to, and for some reason or other, they end up clicking a button and going to that page. So it could be, again, a sales page, a squeeze page, which is an email opt-in page. It could be your homepage on the website. It could be your blog on the website. It could be any number of platforms and pages within that. But the key is to generate traffic with a targeted outcome. The second word we want to be always aware of, because it governs every strategy we have in online marketing, is conversion. And the reason that these 2 words are so important within online marketing is that everything relates to them. Every action you partake in should either generate traffic or elicit conversion. And when you go to start building strategies out, which I show you how to do in Total Online Blueprint, but when you go to do that, what you want to be aware of is your start point is traffic. Whether you're running an email marketing campaign, you want to drive traffic to a landing page, whether you're running a Facebook ads campaign and you want to drive traffic to a sales page, it doesn't matter. The first port of call within any online marketing strategy is generating traffic and sending that traffic to somewhere specific that you have identified. On that page then, or through a sequence of pages where the person delves further through what we call a pipeline or a funnel, what you want to be doing is trying to elicit conversion. So when somebody is within your website, you don't really want them bouncing out because you may have lost a prospect there. What you want to do is capture their attention, engage with them, build trust, add little items and tidbits of social proof, things, psychological measures, sales protocols, conversion strategies, and get them to click the button and take the next step. And again, that next step could be any number of things. It could be to subscribe to your email marketing list, to purchase your product, to book a session with you if you're a consultant or a trainer of some kind. But conversion is really just the last step in the process. So every single strategy we build in online marketing must start with a traffic generation component, and it must end with a conversion component. So that's what I want to get out right at the start before we even delve into the pillars of online marketing. These 2 words are key. And they seem like this sort of vague overview of, yes, traffic and conversion. You'll hear about traffic and conversion summits and seminars and events that these companies hold in hotels around the world. But you may not have really been aware that everything in online marketing must start with traffic and finish with conversion. And as long as you have that in your mind, it makes the whole process of creating strategies so much easier, because you've got a start and an end point. And everything in between is a creative process that you can get involved in. So my goal with Total Online Blueprint and with this free training series is to show you how each of the individual 5 pillars of online marketing relate to these 2 words and complement and interact and intertwine with one another to really give you the best online marketing strategy and mechanisms within that possible. Okay guys, so let's get stuck in to the 5 pillars. Okay guys, so pillar 1 is going to be the most important mechanism that you guys have within your online marketing strategy, for whether this is for your business, for your employer, or for your clients if you're maybe becoming an online marketing specialist. So number 1 on the list, which you'll probably guess, is your website. Now, I break the website down into 6 individual key factors, so I guess kind of sub-pillars. How you go about making an effective website and building out that strategy is key to the rest of your success within online marketing. Within a website then, we have our 6 key factors, okay? Number 1, or let's do A. Aesthetics. The very first impression that you make on somebody is critical, and aesthetics come into that within the website. I used to hear these professionals or gurus talk about how aesthetics really weren't that important. It was more about the functionality of something. Aesthetics are incredibly important, let me tell you, because if you land on a website and say for instance that person is trying to sell you something that is worth a number of thousands of dollars, if that website does not look professional, trustworthy, it's not going to elicit conversion. It's not going to build your trust and get you to delve further into the process with them. So again, it's not going to get you to delve within the pipeline of the website. So aesthetics is incredibly important. B is functionality. Now, functionality really specifically just means how your website functions, how when somebody lands on your website, they interact with it. So functionality is key, because once they've landed on your website and it looks great and they're impressed, what happens if functionality is broken? If they can't find where they need to go, if they click a button and it doesn't work, or it takes them to the wrong page, or it takes them to what we call a 404 or an error page, that becomes incredibly frustrating. And each step of the process as we go down, if you do not tick it off your list, will reduce the likelihood of anybody delving into that next phase. So functionality is important. You need to make sure that you can find, or the visitor can find, exactly where they need to go within the website, and importantly, where you want them to go. And that's a slightly different strategy in and of itself. C then is engagement. Okay, so engagement really is the third step. You've impressed somebody with the aesthetics, they like what they see, they want to know more. They get to find where they need to go within your website through a fully functional sitemap and structure for user interface. And user interface is just literally that, like a sitemap, how people get to where they need to go. We'll cover all that later. Engagement then is the process by which you capture their attention and keep them there. So engagement is made up of content, whether it is your text, your imagery, your video, your audio, whatever it might be that you put into a website. You want to make sure that that content is appropriately engaging for your target demographic. So there's no point in putting a load of video on your website if your target demographic really wants to read, for instance, or there's no point in putting reams and reams of text within a website if your target demographic, for instance, a younger demographic at say 16 to 20, if that demographic is more in tune with watching video or listening to audio. So it's important that you kind of strategize about the engagement processes within your website, because that is going to keep people on your website, and importantly, if they're not ready to proceed with the sale or the subscription or whatever the conversion strategy is, right at that moment, it increases the likelihood of them coming back to your website if your content is engaging. Okay, we've drifted off a little bit there. D on the list then is your accessibility, and specific to that as well, something that you need to be aware about is mobile accessibility. Now, really all that means is just how people access your website. And you guys will know you've got multiple devices these days. We have large-scale desktop screens with different resolutions and sizes. We have laptops with 15, 13, 12, 11, 9-inch screens, all different resolutions, potentially. We have tablets nowadays with different orientations, so you can do landscape or portrait. We've got phones which do the same thing but on a smaller scale. So the critical thing here is making sure that whenever somebody visits your website or the pages within your website, that everything is presented to them in the most optimal way, so it's easy to digest, they're not having to pinch and zoom if they're on a mobile device and so on, and that the experience is fluid. So it links in a little bit with functionality, user interface, as well as engagement, or something that's linked to engagement is user experience or UX. Again, we'll deal with all the kind of the more intricate terminologies and what they all mean in later trainings. But for now, I just want to get around the fact that accessibility is really important. If people cannot access your website for one reason or another, maybe it's down, the server broke, it got hacked, maybe when they land on your website, it tries to fit the full website into a mobile screen. That again creates this friction within the process. And friction is incredibly important because, like I said at the start, as you delve further into these important factors, if you get one wrong, you're getting people bouncing out of your website because there's friction created within the process. It's not a fluid, seamless, efficient process. It's creating some sort of friction there where they don't feel confident moving forward with you. They don't feel confident in your website, in your business, you haven't built trust, whatever that might be. But friction is incredibly important. At all times, and I always remember this came out a number of years ago, Mark Zuckerberg gave an interview I was watching, and he was talking about the progression of Facebook. And he said, our goal is to create a frictionless platform with which people can communicate with one another. So making it easy with Messenger or newsfeed or emoji introduction, things like that. It creates a frictionless process wherever possible. And that's how you keep people on your website. Okay guys, so E on the list is going to be that end result that you are going for with this, which is ultimately conversion. Now, conversion is made up of a number of different mechanisms within a website, not least of which are going to be what we call your call to actions, the statements and buttons and instruction throughout your website which asks people to take that next step, whatever it might be. And you can be pretty explicit with it. If you want somebody to subscribe to your email marketing list and you give them something in return, you can literally use a button that says subscribe now or get instant access, or even a more personalized approach like send it to me, things like that. Those are basically call to action buttons, but those little snippets, those wordings, the buttons, the colors of those are important, and they all deal with eliciting conversion within your website. So it's about getting those people to click that button while they're there, rather than them bouncing out and maybe not coming back. You only have a certain amount of time to make that first impression, and then to impress people, and then to elicit the conversion, to ask them to take that next step with you. So that's where conversion comes in to creating a fully functional website. And of course, right at the top, you can even do a little kind of funnel and go back to that word, traffic. You're going to be sending traffic in some form to your website, and then they go through this kind of step-by-step process. Does your website look good? Is it functional? Is it engaging? Do they like the experience of being there? Is it accessible? Is it being presented to them in the most optimized way possible for their own device and their viewing experience? And then, what are the next steps? People want to take next steps. If they're on your website, if you're a business and they're reading through your content and they've stayed around enough to be engaged by your content, they want to know how to take the next step. It's just a matter of fact. They need to know that your product or service answers a question or a problem for them, is a solution for them. And then what you guys have to do, and we have to do as marketers, is create a system and the things in behind that system that really back it all up, that say to somebody, right, you want to take the next step, here's a couple of options. Click this button and book a call with us. And then they click that, and then what do we need behind that? We need what I call fulfillment. Fulfillment mechanics, as I call it. Again, this is a terminology that I've coined, which really just means that when somebody goes for the conversion, they click the button, they lift the phone, they add something to their cart or try and check out whatever, again, the action might be. There's multiple forms of conversion that you could elicit within a website, but you must make sure that the fulfillment mechanics are there to deliver there and then exactly what they need. If your site is an e-commerce website, you need to make sure that your e-commerce system is fluid, it's fast, it's responsive, and that when somebody clicks add to cart or check out now, that they go to their cart, they get to check out the process, they get to add their card details. When they hit submit and purchase, that the entire process behind that works, so they get an automated response, so that the distribution center for your product gets a notification to ship this product to this person at this address, and they get their systems in process. Fulfillment mechanics are incredibly important, because if you've led somebody along this entire pipeline within your website or funnel, and then they get to fulfillment and it breaks down, that can ruin the whole process. And that's why these 6 things are incredibly important to creating a really fully functioning, efficient, workable website that is going to bring people in, engage with them, build trust, and convert and deliver. And that is what makes up an effective website. Now, in Total Online Blueprint, I show you exactly through this entire process how to create aesthetically beautiful websites, how to go about building out a sitemap and functionality within your website, how about creating content with high engagement is more likely to elicit conversion, how to make your website accessible by default so that it doesn't matter who visits your website, they will always get the best representation. Then importantly, how to create systems and call to action strategies and link systems that elicit that all important conversion step. And finally, how to deliver the products that you need to deliver. Products or services, in fact. So somebody may be just booking a call with you, they want to book a session with you, they want to subscribe to your email marketing list, they want to get a free training from you, they want to buy your product. All of those are conversion strategies, but the fulfillment needs to be there to deliver those things instantly to the visitor to your website. Otherwise, everything breaks down. Okay guys, so that is your first pillar for online marketing. I hope that was of help. Please let me know if you have any questions or queries. As always, in video 2, we'll move on to pillar number 2, and we'll deal with that from there. But thanks again for watching, guys. Again, I'm Alex, Total Online Blueprint creator, and I'll see you in the next one.